Did you get interested in this, Rob? Was it something that you saw?
Yeah. I've kind of told this to people that would listen and people that wouldn't, and so I've kind of no shame about it. But just something very unusual. Walking home from the art centre in Wexford a few years ago, I stopped, looked up in the sky, and saw, lights that were moving at incredible speeds, and I was shocked, in awe, and it was something that I believed was incredible. So that led me down the road, and I'm kind of organising this convention now to get people like me together. And of course, if you're not interested, that's fine. But we'd like to talk about it, and we'd like to share experiences because it's fun. It's a bit of crack, and it does have implications. It does have ramifications because this technology, if it was technology, and again, we don't know anything, would be groundbreaking if we had access to it.
Okay, no, it's certainly interesting. And, people will ask the question, were you coming home? Had you been drinking? Were you tired? Like all those questions.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're valid questions because it's completely up to, the individual to make their own mind up about it. But the answer is, of course, I wasn't. I was perfectly sober, and that really isn't kind of, a factor because what I saw was just what I saw, and you can believe me if you want, and you don't have to. But it's not just me. There's a number of people, as you're, in the news today. There's like a couple of hundred people have seen it in Ireland, and it's a trend throughout the world. So if there's a trend and there are commonalities within that trend, then people have to take people a bit more seriously.
I'm taking you completely at face value. There's been 105 recorded UFO sightings in Ireland, with each visit lasting an average of 13 minutes. And where does your head go with it, Rob? Do you think, God, is it aliens, or does it go to a kind of a spiritual place, or do you think, are we being watched by a government organisation that we don't know about yet? Do you go conspiracy theory? Where does your head go, or is it to all of the above and more?
Well, no, it's straight to what facts I can get my hands on, that normally leads me down to the root of what's coming out in America, because there's so much more. They're not transparent, but they're more transparent, and they have more information about what's going on than we do in Ireland. So I look at, the videos that came out, and then, of course, department officials will release information. And a big story, of course, is the Marco Rubio, who is the Senate chair of the Intelligence Committee. And he released statements about, there are these objects flying over restricted airspace in the US, and we don't know what they are. So that's really important, because if they don't know what they are, sure as hell I don't know what they are. But they're there, and they have to be taken at face value.
Ooh, it's very interesting. It certainly is. Will you stay on the line there? That's Rob Kennedy there, co-organiser of the first virtual UFO convention in Ireland, and you can find out more on Facebook. I want to bring in John. John, you're welcome to Lunchtime Live on Newstalk. How are you?
I'm fine, and yourself?
I'm not too bad at all, thank you very much. I'm interested in this. So if there's been 105 sightings around Ireland, have you seen something in the sky?
Yes. Well, back in 2003, I was driving to a village in County Limerick. It may be around 1:30 in the daytime. And I was after doing some work. And I was driving slowly, maybe 20 miles an hour. I had a Ford Fiesta car. So I saw three objects in the sky overhead the village. And very suddenly, one of them came straight towards me in a split in the course of a second. It didn't take a vast amount of time. And he came down as low as the roof of the car, and he swooped over the roof of the car. The flying object flew against me. I'm driving 20 miles towards it. So I could see the pilot for maybe a split second, maybe half a second of that, and all I could say about him was that he had a face like the shape of an egg or something like that. He was some type of human being, but not a human being like us. And
a creature, John, a creature.
some type of a creature. A creature would be a better word. And he looked at me for half a second, and I looked at him, each or whatever. And I looked at the creature for half a second. And I thought it was maybe an air display or something like that. But it had shocked me because I had known that there's a 1,500 feet threshold for single-engine Cessna planes and all that type of stuff. They can't come below 1,500 feet. Because I had learned that from a cousin of mine who's a pilot when he trained at Cooney Airfield in Limerick when he was young, there at 15 or 16. I used to go with him. So when I parked the car, maybe about a minute later, where I was living, I got out and I looked up and I looked around the sky to see what was there, and I could see nothing. I saw nothing anymore. That was the end of it. So the only thing I could say is that what I saw was there were round objects. The colour of them was military green, the very same as the army, and they were completely round, and they were extremely fast. They were just gone of a shot way over a hill, and the blink of an eye. And I thought maybe when I found I'd see something again. So that's all I could say about it.
That's quite the story, John. And I'm not saying that, like taking the mick at all. And I probably shouldn't have put creature, I shouldn't be putting words in your mouth. But,
yes.
How does it feel to have an experience like that and know that, so many of the people you tell just aren't going to believe you?
Well, you feel puzzled because, you see something. And, I mean, I've never hallucinated in my life. Not that I know of anyone. Nobody else has ever thought I imagined or hallucinated about anything else. That's what I saw, and I can't define in detail any further than that what I saw.
Mm.
So it just leaves me thinking, but is it some military organisation, some high tech, or is it something divine, or is it something? But when a group of people besides myself haven't seen it, I just stay quiet about it.
Yeah, fair enough,
so
John.
There's more to say about it,
Yeah.
I did learn some few years later from a man that I worked with that a mother and son had also seen strange objects again around that time.